Guys, like, comment, subscribe, share the video, especially if you love college football as much as I do. As you all know, I'm a big Auburn fan. I'm going to make a Texas fan reaction video to the same subject. Florida State the other day created 13-0 unconquered championship rings, and I honestly have no problem with it, because yes, Florida State did lose to Georgia in that bowl game, and I'm not going to say they would have beat Georgia if it had mattered or anything like that. But I will say this: Florida State did everything, excuse me, that they were supposed to do to get into that playoff. Okay, and I still don't think they were the best team in the country. I do believe Michigan was clearly the best team in the country, but they definitely deserved to be in that playoff more than Alabama did, and to be honest, more than Texas did, because Texas had already lost to somebody that had no business beating them. Okay, and Florida State won some games. This is what championship teams do. They win games against teams that they are supposed to beat but could lose to. Look at Pittsburgh. Look at Miami. Teams like Boston College. Teams, we overlook the fact that Washington did the same thing in the first Oregon game. Almost lost to Washington State, who was terrible as an overall team, to be honest with you, outside of their quarterback. And struggled with a terrible USC team. But they still won those games. So what makes Florida State any different? And you forget, yeah, Florida State didn't have Jordan Travis, but the next two games they played with Florida and Louisville beat them by 9 points or more, with mostly a championship level elite defense. And in my opinion, was, if not the best, second best defense in the country. I do believe Michigan's defense was a little bit better than Florida State's as a whole. Okay? But still really good. So I really don't see any issue with Florida State. They should be recognized for what they did do. So I agree with that 100%. And look, I admit, I do believe Georgia, even with Jordan Travis, even with all their starters, could have beat Florida State. Anyway, I also think Florida State had a chance to beat Georgia when it mattered if both teams had all their players. But that's just my opinion. I don't think it's a shot at Georgia at all whatsoever. Because, again, that season was over, and I understand. You do everything you're supposed to do. You win all the games you're supposed to win, and clearly the playoff committee favored Alabama. I think Georgia was better than Alabama, in my honest opinion, but hey, flukes happen. Referees jump in when they're not supposed to, and that's just my opinion. I'm just petty. I like Auburn, so I know how we lost to Alabama, but that's besides the point. The point is, I don't see any issue with Florida State having their rings. They deserve to be recognized for what they did do with all their players. They overcame a lot of adversity, and again, the wins like LSU. LSU was number 5 to start the year. Clemson was in the top 10 to start the year. Miami at some point was ranked in the top 15. Florida at some point was ranked before they lost a bunch of games to top 10 caliber opponents like Florida State, Georgia, Missouri, and among others. But that's besides the point. I mean, Florida State, there's nothing wrong with what they're doing. Okay? And I don't see, and even as an Auburn fan, I like to make fun of Georgia, especially with all the players doing dumb stuff. I'm even admitting that's not a blow to Georgia. I mean, whatever. Kirby Smart basically admitted it. Yeah, we beat Florida State, but we didn't beat the team that was the same team that went 13-0. Whatever.